Hi, faculty. I just wanted to give you some few words and explain a few things from our my updates newsletter, I guess you can say. And I just wanted to say some closing remarks before we end our semester. So as I reflected on this semester, a few words came to mind. Change, new normal, plans B through F, COVID, disparities, waiting, patience, resilience, cooperation and collaboration, sacrifice, care, innovation, creativity, determination, hard work, forward, and safe. New normal is without a doubt a new part of our vocabulary. Um, Unprecedented is another um, word that's being constantly used this semester. There is no doubt this semester has brought us to very trying times. And we've come to a point where we have to realize that things of the past include traditional ways of thinking, traditional ways of learning, traditional ways of teaching. Really, we need to leave behind and start thinking more about our future, the new digital age, how we're going to roll out teaching this fall, synchronous meetings rather than face to face, WebEx, Zoom, and then this new term, Zoom bombing, and security and safety and resourcefulness. Those are all aspects of our future that we now have to readily, easily, and quickly adopt. There's no doubt that through Dr. Keshwala's email, the budget is a key part of our future, and the fall enrollments are key to our future. So I'm going to go ahead and change my screen here, move myself over, and share with you a PowerPoint that I did attach that was shared at the past board meeting. And I wanted to go over some details with you so that you can understand where we are currently with our budget. The impact for just this spring has been negative 19.6 million. And you can look at all those categories that added up to the 19.6 million. We lost revenue of 11.8 million and then additional expenditures of 7.8. And you'll know here that PPE and sanitation will increase dramatically for the fall due to our needs. So with our deficit of 19.6 million, you can see here what we were able to accumulate in order to help reduce that 19.6. The CARES Act um, generously provided us $30 million, dollars, and our students are benefiting 15.3 million basically of those funds for scholarships and emergency funds for students, and then eligible costs that would meet the 19.6 add up to about $10 million there. So we are at a we we were able to accumulate about $5 million from the CARES Act in order to help reduce that 19 million. And then below there is the estimated amount of what we would have to use concerning our cash reserves. And the cash reserves, as you can kind of think of it as like a bank account where we are holding that money for emergency purposes, and we also need to keep that 16% goal in order to keep our credit rating high. We received just recently a AAA credit rating, and that will help us, that will benefit us when we are going to request or be up for bonds. Okay. All right. So our next slide here is the impact for projections in this next academic year. If we are at a negative 15% decline in the fall, we will be losing in revenue $21.9 million, dollars, almost $22 million. So right now, the current decline for our fall enrollment is 37%, according to Dr. Keshwala's email. And she also noted that every percentage on our enrollment, and that's cuts across the entire system, is an estimated $1.3 million. So if we maintain, and I have my handy calculator here, you math people can do this in your head, I know. If we maintain that negative 30% times 1.3 million, we will be starting with a deficit in the fall of a negative 48.1 million. Now, not to worry, because when we started registration for the summer, we were at a negative 30%, and right now we're about a negative 3% for summer, which is fantastic, and this is system-wide. Negative 3% still sets us with a loss, obviously, but not an incredible loss. So if we can maintain a negative 15%, which is very doable, because we have a significant amount of time still left for our fall enrollments to increase, we will be at a okay um, deficit. Okay, we're not at a no, any deficit is not a good thing. Is not a good thing. Sorry. So we want to keep the decline of fall enrollment as low as possible. Now, this also impacts our 2022 budget year as well, because if it remains on the high negative, if it remains negative in a significant amount, okay, like 37% in other words, or even 30%, it will affect our um, budget year, fiscal year 2022, 2021, 2022. Yeah. So I wanted to continue on with the budget, and I know I was on this, excuse me, this screen concerning our budget impact. We want to minimize the deficit of our fall enrollments for this fall. So this fall is a crucial, critical time for our budget. And I wanted to make sure you all were aware of that. As you can see here on this next slide, there are some estimations of how we can reduce this $34 million impact. You'll notice all the different line items there. A budget, the one I want to highlight is the 5% budget reduction on every campus and every vice chancellor's budget as well. So $14 million of savings when we reduce the budget. Again, this is a projection. We are thinking in the fall that we will have a negative fall enrollment, but we want to keep our fall enrollment negative 15 and under, okay, to make sure that we do not put ourselves in a critical situation for our subsequent academic year, okay, after this one, after this coming academic year. 2021 and 2022 academic year will be impacted significantly if this fall's enrollment is not increased by the fall start. Okay, so critical decisions and efforts do need to be made in order for us to make sure we're not in a position to reduce our budgets even more. And now logically we can all think, okay, so we're going to be at a deficit. Therefore, what does it mean about raises? So for the next 2 years minimum, we will not get raises. Now, what can we say about that? I am grateful that I have a job. The unemployment rate in Houston, the last time I saw, was about 15%, or Texas, I think it was Texas, 15%. And the national numbers, I believe, is about 14%, something like that. Now, Texas is hit hard because of the oil and gas industry, right? We are really fortunate that we have our jobs. So I'm not going to complain even if we don't have raises in the next 2 years. Um, the budget reduction, by the way, will not touch instruction. What does that mean? Full-time instruction, it will not be touched. Now, with adjunct faculty, that all depends on enrollment, just like what it says on the MOU, that their jobs are very much dependent on enrollment. So that's adjunct faculty are not, they're not contracted like the contracts we have. Of course, our system is obligated to make sure that we have our course loads, and Dr. Head has emphatically said that instruction will not be touched in this reduction. Okay. Now, the one part of instruction that will be touched is our professional development, and that's given. External professional development. That means going to different cities, states for professional development. To be honest with you, a lot of the conferences are not even going to be face to face. Many of them are going online anyway, so it's not too much of a loss on our end. Travel in general on our campus will just be pretty much cut. And that cuts across all of my colleagues in Texas and beyond, where their budget cuts are also cutting travel. Uh, okay, so that is basically the summary of the budget and just a few details I wanted to share with you. Fall meetings are going to be on WebEx, and when I met with the board, we are going to make some plans on how to organize that and make sure that we can get obviously as many people on and with the least amount of technological issues. So we will try that out in the fall. I encourage you to send a celebratory message to our 2020 grads. It's unfortunate that they won't get a ceremony, but this is one way in which we can show them that we are proud of them and we congratulate them and we want them to really do well in their next endeavors in their future. I will send you all periodic emails throughout the summer. Faculty Senate Board in general is not really in session, but a lot of meetings are occurring where FSPs will be involved, and I will do my best in communicating information that is pertinent to all faculty throughout the summer. So even though you may put your out of office emails, just pay attention to a few of the things with Faculty Senate because the information I will share will pertain to fall. And that is it. I wish you all the best summer. I wish you all the best end of the semester. I thank you so much for all of your hard work, and you should all give yourselves. I'm going to give you guys a virtual hug. I can't give you a hug in person, but I wish I could at least see your faces, hopefully either through WebEx meetings or whatever it may be throughout this rest of this year. But I wish you all well. I'm glad to be part and proud to be part of Lone Star College Sci-Fair. And thank you so much for all the encouraging messages that I've been getting as well from you. That has meant so much to me. I can't tell you enough because there has been, some very stressful and trying times that I've been a part of, but I'm still here. My hair is still intact. And yes, there are some grays that are showing, but my hair is still intact. I haven't pulled everything out, but I'm here and I'm glad to be your Faculty Senate president in the midst of all this. It, it's brought so much joy. And I say that hesitantly because I'm like, it's not so much joy as in happy haha joy, but it's brought joy to me because I've been able to be a part of efforts that have helped you, that have helped your students, and that have helped our community as a whole. And that's the best part of my job. Thank you so much, and I wish you well. Stay safe.